Do you remember being really young, just starting out, got your first home at 19 or 20 years old? No, me neither, bestie, but you know. In today's Budget Bestie, we've got a very, very young couple who have been struggling with money for a really long time and they are just starting their lives out. So we've got a very exciting budget to go through. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira and on this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you like to watch, please consider subscribing because we do have a lot of fun over here, bestie. We rally durr! In today's video, we're continuing on my series called Budget Bestie. I think this is episode number 35 as well. Like, we've nearly been doing this a year now. Budget Bestie is a series of people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, sometimes I can show a different way of thinking which may provoke different thoughts for you. And when you are able to have lots of different opinions, you can make great decisions for yourself. I don't always get it right though. So please, if you feel that I've got it wrong or you do something different, please let me know down in the comments because all of those opinions are so important for helping people who are going through similar situations to this to form their own opinion. Having said that, we have got an interesting one today, so bestie, let's get into it. So obviously we always do a form, and the form here I ask a couple of questions. The first one I ask is, what is your main financial goal? They said to be able to save lots of money and to be debt free. So I think that's definitely achievable for them at this stage in their life, for sure. Their main financial issue is that they keep going into pots of money which they shouldn't touch, which I think we can all be guilty of. Sometimes if you want something and you don't quite have it from one pot, you'll just take from another. That's not ideal, but it does happen. They do have a little bit of debt, so they owe just over £2,000 to Monzo and then £900 to probably a credit card with HSBC. So it's not a massive amount of debt and we can remedy that pretty quickly, really. I ask them what they're currently saving for and they say, I'm saving for new furniture for our house as we're only 19 and 20. So haven't had a lot of time to collect things, but also I'd like to treat ourselves along the way as since moving out last year our money has been so tight, which totally makes sense. It's just them and their partner. So we've got quite a lot to get into today. So what we've really got here is a budget that can be ambitious. It can be very prosperous and look towards the future because they haven't made the mistakes yet that we all did. So they are in a place where they can clear down debt, save lots of money and do what they want to do with their lives rather than carrying down this path. And they seem really switched on, a cute couple. So I think it's time to take a look at their budget and see what we might do in their situation, bestie. Hi bestie, we're here to get this budget done and I know you're expecting me to use this paycheck bill tracker, which is the A4 size, but look what we have. So this is her little sister. This is the paycheck bill tracker in A5 and as you can see it is literally shrunk down. So the problems that we had with the last paycheck bill tracker was that I'd spaced it out for ease of writing and you could literally use it quite comfortably. Now the lines in here are a lot more narrow, but it means you can fit more in. So I'm going to be using this one today. This is still the pad of 25. It still is absolutely stunning to use and we're going to use it and get this budget done. So bestie, let's get cracking. So starting off, there's two streams of income. We've got income 1 and income 2. So let's fill that in. So income 1, income 2. So the first income is £1,087.89, which I think is theirs, and then their partners is a bit more generic, it's 1,850, and that comes up to 2,937.89, which is really nice and comfortable. It's almost £3,000. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to list all of the bills really quickly and I'll talk to you about them afterwards. So starting at the top, we've got rent, which is £775, which is really reasonable for two people. We got gas and electric, which is £220, which is probably on the higher side, I would have said, but it depends on your usage. Water seems quite high, but if that's the rates, that's the rates. Wi-Fi is quite high. I'd look at looking into that because that's quite expensive. It may be looking at your council tax, and maybe that you're in like a bit more of a city, so that might be the reason why. We've got contents insurance, road tax, car insurance, which is very high. You are 19 and 20 though, so I assume that that's going to go down drastically every year. So please make sure that you're not auto renewing and you're looking at that all the time. Spotify, I know that you're not going to live without. Phone 4676 is also extremely high. Stop getting new phones, please. Amazon, there is something we're going to change later on, because I think when we're in a situation where we spend too much, why have the allure of fast next day shipping with Amazon? Let's get rid of it, and then that completely throws away the want to do it, because then all of a sudden it's an extra $5 to get it shipped. We've got life insurance, we've got PS5 and MacBook there, so I think these are things that we've got on hire purchase. So the PS5 is $38.72 and the MacBook is $69.38. What I would consider doing is having a look at what the percent interest on those are. Usually quite high, unless they're in the buy now pay later deal. It may be cheaper to pay them in full using a credit card and then paying off the credit card, depending on what interest you're going to be charged. But definitely look at this Aviva insurance. I don't know what that's for, but it does seem quite high, so maybe take a look at that. And then work pension is super sensible. So yeah, all in all, quite good bills. They do come up to $1,675.65, which after your income leaves you with $1,262.24. So let's move over. We've got envelopes which are confusing to me, so no wonder why you confuse yourself. So we've got groceries here, so groceries up here, and then you budget £200 per month. And then dining out, which would be takeaways and things like that, so dining out you budget $50. Then we've got household, which you budget for household. Ooh, I don't know how to spell household. You budget £10 a month for that, which isn't a lot. And then £5 a month for toiletries. I don't know what toiletries you're getting for a £5, but that's that. So that's your budget, and normally you give yourself $265, and that leaves you with $997.24. So there's no sinking funds listed or anything like that. So I feel like you're in a situation where you just can't put anything back. But we are here at debt now. So we've got the Monzo loan here, so Monzo loan, and the minimum on that is $101.99, and then we've got a HSBC. I don't know if it's a loan or a credit card. I'm just going to put loan because it's a shorter word, and that's $51.68 as a minimum. So those add up to $153.67, which leaves you with $843.57, and that is your buffer. So I can see why you feel like you don't have enough money and everything's really tight, but when you really dial everything back, you can see that your buffer is $843.57. So you can see that a lot of that's going on spending. You're buying furniture, you're celebrating stuff, you're doing young people things, and I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do, but if you want to do great things in the future, probably want to dial those back. So we're here with a pink pen, and we're going to make a couple changes. Now, normally what I don't do is any changes to bills, but I am going to be adamant about this Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, if we've got like a spending issue and we keep on dipping into pots and stuff like that, having the alert of next day delivery is never good. So if we remove that alert, we're going to really think twice about making purchases. Plus, the TV you get from it is not very good anyway. So we're taking $8.99 off that. So it means that our bills are a lovely and sexy number of $1666.66, which leaves us with $1271.23. Now, the reason why I have problems with these envelopes is because they're just bizarre. So I wouldn't have groceries and dining out. I would just do food. So that would be groceries and dining out, and I'd keep it at 200, because if you've always got £50 to have a takeaway and stuff like that, you will always have one. But if it's eating into that, you technically won't all the time. I would get rid of this toiletries category and include toiletries within your household. I think £10 a month. I think £20 is a bit more realistic. Then what I'd do is I'd introduce spending so that you can have like a limit on what you do and all of that stuff. For now, I would give yourself £20 per week. So by 4 weeks times 2 people, which means that it's £160. That then comes to 380, and I know it's more, but it's a lot more realistic now, which leaves with 891.23. So there are plenty of sinking funds that I'd like to introduce. First off is emergency. So we gotta have emergency fund, because I feel like being that young, you've got like, just to have the comfort of that is going to be a big thing, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. We've got birthdays, which are probably one of those things that is constantly splurged on. Christmas and furniture, we said that is important to us. So furniture, and I know furniture is expensive and we're not going to give it a lot of money, but you know, if we want it, we can save up for it. And then holidays, because you spoke about enjoying your money. So first of all, we need to work out what an emergency fund should look like. So I've worked it out. So once you add up their minimums of their bills plus their minimums of their envelopes, times that by 6, that means that they've got a 6 months emergency fund. Then when you divide it by 24, we are left with the number of 491.47. So that's something that's very easily achievable. So chucking that in as higher interest pot as you probably could. Monzo is very, very good at the moment with almost 5% interest pots. So chucking that in there every single month really can do a wonderful thing for you, so that you've got 6 times what you need to get through the month, just in case the worst happened. Then I would do £20 a month to birthdays, £20 a month to Christmas, £20 a month to furniture. And I know that's not a lot of money for furniture if it's one of your goals, but I think getting your emergency fund done first is probably what the wisest thing to do. And then I'd do £30 a month for holidays, because they're expensive. This comes up to 581.47, which then leaves you with 309.76. So what I'd then do is I'd work in an overpayment for your debt to get it done quicker, and I'll tell you why afterwards, but I do an overpayment of 146.33, so not a massive one. That leaves you with 300 to pay to debt each month, which leaves you a buffer of 976, which I think is a lot more healthy, because you've really got to be careful about how you spend. So let's talk about this debt repayment plan. So on this stunning piece of paper, which is, you know, the most beautiful piece of paper you've ever seen, we've got our 2 bits. So looking at a snowball wise, HSBC go first because it is HSBC goes first because it's the smallest one. We owe 900 and our minimum is 51.68. And then we've got Monzo here where we owe 2127 and our minimum is 101.99. So we are barely 3k in debt. It's not a lot of debt, it really isn't. But let's talk about how to get out of debt here in a really, really small way, but nice and quickly. So 51.68 plus our overpayment of 146.33 gives us a payment of £198.1. We do that 5 times, so 5 months, and then that debt is gone. There's a little bit of change, but we move that into this one. So when we add the 198.01 to the 101.99, that gives us our full snowball like straight away. And then after that, this one's gone in 7 months. So 5 plus 7 is actually 12 months. So this is a plan to be debt free in 1 year. So this is really, really achievable, I believe. So when we're back in this budget, then we then have £300 available, because debt is not a thing for us. So we can do an extra £100 to furniture each month. We can do an extra £100 to holidays. We can put it into our spending. We can start having more takeaways. But I feel like when we are in the habit of doing this for 2 years and we don't have debt, things become a lot more simpler. So this is the approach that I would take. I think this is like really, really set up to make them really successful and have a lot of comfort in their life with this emergency fund, which I think is probably the most important thing at this stage in their life, or anybody's stage in anybody's life right now. They're really, really young. They're only going to earn more in their life. So getting the foundations down now will serve them really well. So yeah, I'd love to know what you would do. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals. Thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. So what would you do in this situation? I mean, there's loads of different ways you could go around it. And would you go as aggressive as I have with the emergency fund? I just feel like when they're at this stage of their life, they don't need furniture, they don't need all of this stuff because they've kind of got everything that they could ever possibly want. But to prepare themselves now for an emergency will just give them confidence for the rest of their life to move forward and make big decisions because they've got that to rely on. So I think that is probably the smartest thing for them to do. But if you've got a different opinion, please let me know down in the comments down below. Thank you so much for getting here, but an extra special thank you to the channel members and the patrons who make all of this possible. I truly mean it when I say without you I would not be here. Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks and significant discounts off my Etsy store. So if you'd like to join them and support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That is it for this week, and I think next week we're in December, so you might get something different, you might not. Who knows? Who knows? It's all so exciting. Until next week's video, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.